Welcome back to another live stream. Today I'm going to be reading. I think I'm live. Welcome back to another live stream. So today I'm planning to read Deuteronomy chapter 13 all the way to chapter number 24. 12 chapters I'm planning to read right now. So it's day 36. Hopefully I can finish this within a stream. So I'm planning to finish Deuteronomy today, and that will be the end of the book of Torah. So let me go to Deuteronomy chapter number 13. Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy chapter 13. Let me go. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and that sign or wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, Let us go after other gods which we have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or the dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. But that prophet or dreamer of dreams that shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to entice you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall put away the evil from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, your son of your son or a daughter, the wife of the blossom, or your friend who is as your own soul, secretly entices you, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the gods of the people, which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. You shall not consent to them or listen to them, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with the stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. So all Israel shall hear and fear, and not again do such wickedness as this among you. If you hear someone in one of your cities which the Lord your God gives you to dwell in it, saying, Corrupt men have gone out from among you and enticed the inhabitants of their cities, saying, Let us go and serve other gods which you have not known, then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, and if it is indeed true and certain that such as an abomination was committed among you, you shall surely strike the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroy it, all that is in it, and its livestock with the edge of the sword, and you shall gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city of all its plunder. For the Lord your God, it shall heap forever, it shall not be built again. So none of the accuser's things shall remain in your hand, that the Lord may turn away from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion on you, and multiply you, just as he showed to your fathers. Because you have listened to the voice of the Lord your God to keep all these commandments which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. This is chapter number 13. Let me go to chapter number 14. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourself, nor shave the front of your head for the dead. For you are holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure among all the people who are on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any detestable things. Detestable. Okay, detestable things. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the mountain goat, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. And you may eat every animal with cloven hooves, having the hoof split into two parts, and that chews the cud among the animals. Nevertheless, of those that chew the cud or have cloven hooves, you shall not eat, such as these, the camels, the hare, and the rock hyrax, for they chew the cud, but do not have cloven hooves. They are unclean for you. Also the swine is unclean for you, because it has cloven hooves, yet does not chew the cud. You shall not eat their flesh, or touch their dead carcasses. These you may eat of all that are in the waters. You may eat all that have fins and scales, and whatever does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. All clean birds you may eat, but these you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, and the kite after their kinds, every raven after its kind, the ostrich, the short-eared owl, the seagull, and the owl after their kinds, the little owl, the screech owl, the white owl, the jackdaw, the carrion vulture, the fisher owl, the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopie on the bat. Also, every creeping thing that flies in is unclean for you; they shall not be eaten. You may eat all clean birds. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is within your gates, that he may eat it, or that you may sell it to the foreigner. For you are the holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall truly tithe all the increase of your grain that the field produces year by year, and you shall eat before the Lord your God in the place where he chooses to make his name abide. The tithe of your grain and your new wine and your oil, of the firstborn of your herds and your flocks, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. But if the journey is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry the tithe, or if the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you, when the Lord your God has blessed you, then you shall exchange it from money. Take the money in your hand and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses, and you shall spend the money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen or sheep, for wine or similar drink, for whatever your heart desires, you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice with and your household. You shall not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he is no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of every third year, you shall bring out the tithe of your produce of the year and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion, no inheritance with you, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, may come and eat and be satisfied, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work you have of your hand which you have done. This is chapter number 14. Hi, Glacier Shark. Thanks for coming in. And you said, thank God Peter was given the vision to release us to eat lobsters. Yeah, yeah, it's in the book of Acts. Yes. Thank you for coming in and listening to the Bible. Hope you have a good night and a happy day in a few hours. So let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 15. At the end of the every 7 years, you shall grant a release of debts, and this is the form of release. Every creditor who has lent anything to his neighbor shall release it. He shall not require it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner you may require it, but you shall give up your claim to what is owned by your brother, except where there may be no poor among you. For the Lord will greatly bless you in the land in which the Lord your God is giving you to possess as an inheritance. Only if you carefully obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe with care all these commandments which I command you today. For the Lord your God will bless you, just as he promised you. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. You shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. If there is among you a poor man of your brethren within any of your gates in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brethren, but you shall open your hand wide to him, and willingly lend him sufficiently for his need. Whatever he needs, beware lest there be a wicked thought in your heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of the release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry out to the Lord against you, and it becomes sin among you. You shall surely give to him, and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him, because for these things the Lord your God will bless you in all your works and in all that which you have put your hand. For the poor will never cease from the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide to your brother, to your poor, and your needy in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, is sold to you and serves you 6 years, then in the seventh year you shall let him go free from you. And when you send him away free from you, you shall not let him go away empty handed. You shall supply him liberally from your flock, from your threshing floor, and from your winepress, from what the Lord your God has blessed you with, and you shall give to him. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore I command you to this thing today, and if it happens that he says to you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, since he prospers with you, then you shall take away an owl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be a servant forever. Also to your female servant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard to you when you send him away free from you, for he has been a worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all that you do. All the firstborn males that comes from the herd and your flock you shall sanctify to the Lord your God. You shall do not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household shall eat it before the Lord your God, year by year, in the place in which the Lord chooses. But if there is a defect in it, if it is a lamb, it is a lame or blind, or has any serious defect, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You may eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean person alike may eat it, as if there were a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You shall pour it on the ground like water. This is chapter number 15. Let me go to chapter 16. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord your God brought you out of the Egypt by night. Therefore you shall sacrifice the Passover to the Lord your God from the flock and the herd in the place where the Lord chooses to put his name. You shall not eat leavened bread within it. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it, that is bread of affliction. One second, I will be back. Okay, I'm back. I need a little water. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse number 3. You shall eat no you shall not you shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it, that is bread of affliction. For you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, that you may remember the day in which you came out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. And no leaven shall be seen among you in all your territory for 7 days, nor shall any of the meat which you sacrifice the first day at twilight remain overnight until morning. You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. There you shall sacrifice the Passover at twilight, at the going down of the sun, at the time you may came out of Egypt, and you shall roast and eat it in the place which the Lord your God chooses. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there shall be a sacred assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count the 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain. Then You shall keep the feast of the weeks of the Lord your God with the tribute of a freewill offering for your hand, which you shall give as the Lord your God blesses you. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and your daughter, your male servants and your female servants, the Levite who is within your gates, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow who are among you at the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. You shall observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days, when you gathered from your threshing floor and from your winepress, and you shall rejoice in your feast, you and your sons and your daughters, your male servants and your female servants, and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates. 7 days you shall keep a sacred feast to the Lord your God in the place which the Lord chooses, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you are surely rejoiced. Therefore, the times 3 times a year, all your males shall appear before the Lord your God in the place which he chooses, at the feast of unleavened bread, at the feast of the week, and the feast of tabernacle, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessings of the Lord your God, which he has given you. You shall appoint judges and officers in all your gates, which the Lord your God gives you, according to your tribe, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. You shall not prevent justice, you shall not show partiality, nor take a bride, for a bride blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. You shall follow what is altogether just, that you may live and inherit the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not plant for yourself any tree as a wooden image near the altar which you build for yourself to the Lord your God. You shall not set up a sacred pillar which the Lord your God hates. This is chapter number 16. Uh, Let me go to chapter number 17. You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God a bull or a sheep which has any blemish or defect, that is an abomination to the Lord your God. If there is found among you within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, a man or a woman who has been wicked in the sight of your Lord your God, in transgression his covenant, was gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or moon or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it is told you, and you hear of it, then you shall inquire diligently, and if it is indeed true, and certainly such an abomination has been committed in Israel, then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has committed the wicked thing, and shall stone to death the man or woman with stones. Whoever is deserving of death shall be put to death on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. He shall not be put to death on the testimony of 1 witness. The hands of the witnesses shall be the first against him to put him death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so you shall put away the evil from among you. If a matter arises which is too hard for you to judge between the degree of guilt for bloodshed, between one judge or another, or between one punishment or another, matters of controversy within your gates, then you shall arise and go up to the place which the Lord your God chooses, and you shall come to the priests, the Levites, and to the judges there in those days, and inquire of them, and they shall pronounce upon you the sentence of judgment. You shall do according to the sentence which they pronounce upon you in that place which the Lord chooses. And you shall be careful to do according to all that they order you, according to the sentence of the law in which they instruct you, according to the judgment which they tell you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left from the sentence which they pronounce upon you. Now the man who acts presumably and will not eat the priest who stands to minister there before the Lord your God, or judge, that the man shall die. So you shall put away all the evil from Israel, and all the people shall hear and fear, and no longer act presumptuously. When you come to the land which the Lord your God is giving you, and possess it, and dwell in it, and say, I will set a king over me like all the nations that are around me, you shall surely set a king over you, whom the Lord your God chooses. One from among your brethren you shall set as a king over you, and you may not set a foreigner over you, who is not your brother, but ye shall not multiply horses for yourself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt. to multiply horses, for the Lord has said to you, you shall not return that way again. Neither shall he multiply wives for themselves, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he greatly multiply silver and gold for himself. Also it shall be when he sits on the throne of his kingdom that he shall write for himself a copy of the law in a book from the one before the priests, the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, and be careful to observe all the words of the law and the statutes, that his heart may not be lifted above his brethren, that he may not turn aside from the commandments to the right hand or to the left, and that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. Chapter number 17. Let me go to chapter number 18. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part, no inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and its portion. Therefore they shall have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he said to them. And this shall be the priest due from the people for those who offer a sacrifice, whether it's a bull or a sheep. They shall give to the priest the shoulder, the cheeks, and the stomach, first fruit of your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and the first of the fleece of your sheep, you shall give them. For the Lord your God has chosen him out of all your tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. So if a Levite comes from any of your gates, from where he dwells among all Israel, and comes with all the desire of his mind to place which the Lord chooses, then he may serve him in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, who stand there before the Lord. They shall have equal portion to eat, besides what comes from the sale of his inheritance. When you come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to follow the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or daughter pass through fire, or one who practices witchcrafts or soothsayers, or one who interprets omens or sorceries, or one who conjures spells, or medium, or spiritness, or one who calls upon the dead. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord your God drives them out before you. You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. For these nations which you dispose listen to the soothsayers and diviners, but as for you, the Lord your God has not appointed such for you. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from the midst from your brethren. Him you shall hear, according to all you desire of the Lord your God in Horeb, the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, nor let me see this great fear among any more, lest I die. For the Lord said to me, what they have spoken is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brethren, and he will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I commanded him. And it shall be that whoever will not hear my words which he speaks in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, the prophet shall die. And if you say in your heart, how shall we know that the word which the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the things does not happen or come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken. A prophet has spoken in presumably, you shall not be afraid of him. This is chapter number 18. Let me go to chapter number 19. When the Lord your God has cut off the nations whose land the Lord your God is giving you, and you disposes them and dwell in the cities and in their houses, you shall separate 3 cities for yourself in the midst of the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. You shall prepare roads for yourself and divide into 3 parts of the territory of your land, which the Lord your God is giving to the inherited, that any manslayer may flee there. And this is a case of a manslayer who flees there, that he may live. Whoever kills his neighbor unintentionally, not having hated him in the time past, and when a man goes out to the woods with his neighbors to cut timber, and his hand swings a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and his head slips to the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, he shall flee to one of those cities and live, lest the avenger of the blood, while his anger is not hot, and pursue the manslayer and overtake him, because the way is long, and kill him, though he was not deserving of death, since he has not hated the victim in the time past. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall separate 3 cities for yourself. Now, if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, and he sows to your fathers, and gives you the land which he promises to give you to your fathers, and if you keep all these commandments and do them which I command you today, to love the Lord your God, and to walk always in his ways, then you shall add 3 more cities for yourself besides these 3, lest innocent blood be shed in the midst of your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. Thus, guilt of bloodshed be upon you. But if anyone hates his neighbor, lies in wait for him, rise against him, and strike him mortally, that he dies, and he flees to one of these cities, then the elders of the city shall send and bring him from there, and deliver him over to the hand of the avenger of the blood, that he may die. Your eyes shall not pity him, but you shall put away the guilt of the innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with you. You shall not remove your neighbor's landmark, which the men of the hold have said, your inheritance, which will you not you will inherit in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. One witness shall not rise against a man concerning any iniquity or any sin that he commits. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses the matter shall be established. If a false witness rise against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both men in the controversy shall stand before the Lord, before the priest and the judges who serve in those days, and the judges shall make careful inquiry. And indeed, if the witness is a false witness who has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother, so shall put away the evil from among you. And those who remain shall hear and fear, and hereafter they shall again commit such evil among you. Your eye shall pity, life shall be forever, eye for eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. This is chapter number 19. Let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 20. When you go out to the battle against your enemies and see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for the Lord your God is with you, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. So it shall be when you are on the verge of battle that the priest shall approach and speak to the people, and he shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, today you are a verge of the battle with your enemies. Do not let your heart faint. Do not be afraid. Do not tremble or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. Then the officer shall speak to the people, saying, What man is there who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it. Also, what man is there who has planted a vineyard and has not eaten of it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man eat it. And what man is there who betrothed to a woman and has not married her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man marry her. The officer shall speak further to the people and say, What man is there who is fearful and faint hearted? Let him go and return to the house, lest the heart of his brethren faint like his heart, and so shall it be. When the officers have finished speaking to the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When you go near a city to fight against it, then proclaim an offer of peace to it. And it shall be that if they accept your offer of peace and open to you, then all the people who are found in it shall be placed under a tribute to you and serve you. Now, if the city will not make peace with you, but war against you, then you shall besiege it. And when the Lord your God delivers it into your hands, you shall strike every male in it with the edge of the sword. But the women, the little ones, the livestock, and all that is in the city, and all its spoil, you shall plunder for yourself. And you shall eat the enemy's plunder which the Lord your God gives you. Thus you shall do it to all the cities which are very far from you, which are not of the cities of these nations. But of the cities of these people which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance, you shall let nothing that breathes alive. You shall utterly destroy them, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, just as the Lord had commanded you, lest they teach you to do according to all their abominations which they have done for the gods, and you sin against the Lord your God. When you besiege a city for a long time while making war against it to take it, you shall not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. If you can eat of them, do not cut them down to use as a siege. For the tree of the field is man's food. Only the trees which you know are not trees for food, you may destroy and cut down to build siege works against the city that makes war with you until it is subdued. Hmm? அங்கதான் இருந்தாரு. Chapter number 21. If anyone is found slain, lying in the field in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess, and it is not known who killed him, then your elders and your judges shall go out and measure the distance from the slain man to the surrounding cities. And it shall be that the elders of the city nearest to the slain man will take an heifer which has not been worked and which has not pulled with a yoke. The elders of the cities shall bring the heifer down to a valley with a flowing water, which is neither plowed nor sown, and they shall break the heifer's head there in the valley. Then the priests, the sons of the Levi, shall come near, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister to him and to bless in the name of the Lord by their word. Every controversy and every assault shall be settled. And all the elders of that city nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. Then they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, nor have our eyes seen it. Provide atonement, O Lord, for your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, and do not lay innocent blood to the charge of your people Israel. An atonement shall be provided on their behalf for the blood. You shall put away the guilt of the innocent blood from among you when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. When you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into the hands, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and desire her, and would have take her for your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall put off the clothes of her captivity, remain in your house, and mourn for her father and her mother a full month. And after that you may go into her and be. And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall set her free. But you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not treat her brutally, because you have humbled her. If a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, they have borne him children, both the loved and the unloved. And if the firstborn son is of her who is unloved, then it shall be on the day he bequeaths his possession to his sons, that he must not bestow firstborn status on the son of the loved wife in preference to the son of the unloved, the true firstborn, but he shall acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him the double portion of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. If a man has a stubborn and a rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and who, when they have chastened him, will not heed him, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city, to the gate of the city, and they shall say to the elders of the city, the son of ours is stubborn and rebellious, he will not obey our voice, he is glutton and a drunkard. Then all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones, and you shall put away the evil from among you, and all the Israel shall hear and fear. If a man has committed a sin deserving of death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on the tree, his body shall not remain overnight on the tree, but you shall surely bury him that day, so that you do not defile the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. For he whose hand is accursed of God. Interesting chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 21 is interesting. Let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. You shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep going astray, and hide yourself from them. You shall certainly bring them back to your brother. And if your brother is not near you, or if you do not know him, then you shall bring it to your own house, and it shall remain with you until your brother seeks it. Then you shall restore it to him. You shall do the same with his donkey, and so shall you do with his garment, with any lost thing of your brother which he has lost and you have found. You do likewise, you must not hide yourself. You shall not see your brother's donkey or his ox fall down along the road and hide yourself from them. You shall surely help him lift them up again. And woman shall not wear anything that pertains to a man, nor shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all who do so are an abomination to the Lord your God. If a bird's nest happens to be before you along the way, in any tree or a ground, within your young ones or eggs, with the mother sitting on the young or the eggs, you shall take mother with your young. You shall surely let your mother go and take young for yourself, that it may be well with you, that you may prolong your days. When you build an house, then you shall make a parapet for your roof, that you may not bring guilt of bloodshed on your household if anyone falls from it. And you shall not sow from vineyard with different kinds of seed, lest the yield of the seed which you have sown and the fruit of your vineyard that defile. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. You shall not wear a garment of different sorts, such as woolen and linen mixed together. You shall make tassels of on the four corners of the clothing in which you cover yourself. If any man takes a wife and goes into her and detests her and charges her with shameful conduct and bring a bad name on her and says, I took this woman and when I came to her, I found she was not virgin, then the father and mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at gate. And the young woman's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, and he detested her. Now he has charged her with shameful conduct, saying, I have found your daughter was not a virgin, and yet these are the evidence of my daughter's virginity. They shall spread the cloth before the elders' city, and the elders of that city shall take the man and punish him, and they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to their father of the young woman, because he has brought a bad name on the virgin of his Israel. And she shall be his wife. She cannot divorce her all his days. But if the thing is true and the evidence of the virginity are not found for a young woman, then they shall bring out the young woman to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has gone a disgraced thing in the Israel to play a harlotry in her father's house. So you shall put away the evil from among you. If a man is found lying with a woman married to an husband, then both of them shall die. The man that they lay with the woman, and the woman you shall put away from the evil from Israel. If a young woman whose virgin is betrothed to a husband, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of the city, and you shall stone them to death with stones. The young woman because she did not cry out in the city, and the man because he humbled his neighbor's wife. So you shall put away the evil from among you. But if a man finds a betrothed young woman in a countryside, and a man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lays with her shall die. But you shall do nothing to the young woman. There is a young woman, no sin deserving of death. For just as when a man rises against his neighbor and kills him, even so is this manner. For he who found her in the countryside and a betrothed young man and cried out, but there was no one to save her. If a man finds a young woman who's a virgin, who is not betrothed, and he seizes her and lies with her, and they are found out, then the man who laid with her shall give to the young woman's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her, and she shall not be permitted to divorce her all his days. And a man shall not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's bed. Wow, interesting chapter, man. This is separating the entire world, Israel versus the entire world, because you know, uh, Islam They permit all these things. They can have 4 plus 5. They can seize a girl and what is the humble word? I don't want to use a filthy word. Lies with her. They can do all these things. But look at this. Israel is completely different. The Lord is slowly teaching them God's way. Before they were like not in the perfect way. If you know Numbers chapter 20, 23 to 25, they did idolatry, but now God is like slowly they once they are going to reach the holy land, the land which God has promised, He's slowly giving them the true commandments. They're slowly trying to understand God's true heart. And this is an interesting chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 22. So let me read Deuteronomy chapter 23. He who is emasculated by crushing or multitude shall not enter the assembly of the Lord. One of the illegitimate birth shall not enter the assembly of the Lord. Even to the 10th generation, none of his descendants shall enter the assembly of the Lord. An Amorite or a Moabite shall not enter the assembly of the Lord. Even to the 10th generation, none of his descendants shall enter the assembly of the Lord forever, because they did not meet you with bread or water on the road when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam the son of Beor from Bethor of Mesopotamia to curse you. Nevertheless, the Lord your God would not listen to Balaam. The Lord your God turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. You shall not seek their peace nor their prosperity all your days forever. I'm an icon. All right, okay. You shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, because you were an alien in this land. The children of the third generation born to them may enter the assembly of the Lord. When the army goes out against your enemies, then keep yourself from every wicked thing. If there is any man among you who becomes unclean by some occurrence in the night, then he shall go outside the camp. He shall not come inside the camp, but it shall be when evening comes that he shall wash with water, and when the sun sets, he may come into the camp. Also, you shall have a place outside the camp where you may go, and you shall have an implement among your equipment. And when you sit down outside, you shall dig with it and turn and cover your refuse. For the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and give your enemies over to you. Therefore, your camp shall be holy, that he may see no unclean things among you, and turn away from you. You shall not give back to his master the slave who has escaped from his master to you. He may dwell with you in your midst in the place in which he chooses within one of your gates, where it seems best to him. You shall not oppress him. There shall be no ritual harlotry of the daughters of Israel, or a perverted one of the sons of Israel. You shall not bring the wages of an harlot or a price of a dog to an house of the Lord your God, for any vote offering, for both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. You shall not charge interest to your brother, interest on money or food or anything that is lent out of the interest. To a foreigner you may charge interest, but to your brother you shall not charge interest, that the Lord your God may bless you in all that you do, which you set your hand in the land which you are entering to possess. When you make a vow to the Lord your God, you shall not delay to pay it, for the Lord your God will surely require it of you, and it would be sin to you. But if you abstain from vowing, it shall not be a sin to you, that which has gone from your lips, that you shall keep and perform for your voluntary vow to the Lord your God, what you have promised with your mother. When you come into your neighbor's vineyard, you may eat your fill of grapes at your pleasure, but you shall not put any in your container. When you come into your neighbor's standing grain, you may pluck the heads with your hands, but you shall not use a sickle on your neighbor's standing grain. Final chapter for today, Deuteronomy chapter 24, and after that, there will be only 10 more chapters. That will be the end of the book of Torah, 5 books. When a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she finds no favor in his eyes because he has found some uncleanness in her, and he writes her a certified or a divorce and puts in her hand and sends her out of his house, when she has departed from his house and goes and becomes another man's wife, if the later husband detests her and writes her a certificate of divorce, puts it in her hand, and sends her out of his house, or if the later husband dies who took her as a wife, then her former husband who divorced her must not take her back to his wife after she has defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. You shall not bring sin on the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. When a man has taken a new wife, he shall not go out to the war or be charged with any business. He shall be free at home 1 year and bring happiness to his wife whom he has taken. No man shall take the lower or the upper milestone in the pledge, for he takes one living pledge. If a man is found kidnapping any of his brethren, children of Israel, and mistreats him or sells him, then the kidnapper shall die, and you shall put away the evil from among you. Take heed in the outbreak of leprosy that you shall carefully observe and do according to all that the priest and the Levite shall teach you, just as I commanded you, so shall be careful to do. Remember what the Lord your God did to Miriam on the day when you came out of Egypt. When you lend your brother anything, you shall not go out into the house to get pledge. You shall stand outside, and the man to whom you lend shall bring the pledge out to you. And if a man is poor, you shall keep his pledge overnight, and you shall in any case return to pledge to him again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own garment and bless you, and it shall be righteous to you before the Lord your God. You shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether one of your brethren or one of the aliens who is in your land within your gates. Each day you shall give him his wages, and not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and has set his heart on it, lest he cry out against you to the Lord, and it be sin to you. Fathers shall not put to death for their children, nor shall children be put to death for their fathers. A person shall be put to death for their own sin. You shall not prevent justice due to stranger or the fatherless, nor take widow garments as a pledge. But you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I command you to do these things. When you reap your harvest in your field and forget a sheaf in the field, you shall not go back to get it. Shall be for a stranger, that the fatherless and the widow, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. When you beat your olive trees, you shall not go over the broads again. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore, I command you to do these things. So, Deuteronomy chapter 24 is completed, and 10 more chapters remaining, and I'm very excited to complete the books of Torah. And thank you once again for coming to the live stream. Hope everybody have a great day. See you soon again. Peace.